From a super secret location deep within the mountains of Colorado, it's time to strap up, strap in, or strap on with your host, Shenanigans in One Shot. It's From the Ashes Radio!
Ladies and gentlemen, and whatever you got that comes in between those things, welcome to From the Ashes Radio on About Face Media. Thank you for being a part of the audience on our Monday night. I am completely messing with my hetero life mate here. I switched sides, and I want to see if it's going to completely screw him up. And it already has screwed him up. Oh, yeah. We have an automatic machine gun system here for self-defense, and sometimes we forget to shut off the generator for it before we start broadcasting. So yeah, what are those little R2D2 things called on the ships and whatnot that protect the bases? Yeah. Oh wow, damn dude, you really shut up. Are we safe with all those defenses shut down? All right, cool. I got my gun. As do I. Glad to hear it. You're all screwed up, aren't you? Look at you.
This is my punishment.
We got to be ready to adapt.
20 seconds late.
Well, I mean, you're never late. It's your show. You're always on time for your own show. I'm having a really good time right this second. Dude, so yesterday, for those that don't know, we did interviews for new staff, and it sounds like you hired somebody that's going to be starting in May, June timeframe. May, sure. End of May,
next month, 4 weeks.
Yes. So
wow.
We will have new.
I wasn't tracking for a minute because I also missed the staff meeting yesterday, and that's what I thought it was. I was like, oh,
you were preoccupied. you were busy, so
took me a minute.
Yes,
we're 4 weeks out.
I'm excited.
I know.
I'm super excited.
A new Remington to the household.
I know. You can never have too many. I'm excited. What do you call it? That's going to be good stuff. Folks, if you have not already, tonight in just a little while, we're going to have a Go Ruck on the show, which we're kind of excited about. That's kind of a big deal for us. If you have not already gone to Combat Flip Flops and made a purchase there, use the code ABOUTFACE on Combat. How do you still manage to put the microphone in front of your face so people can't see your face? I'm extremely impressed with what you just did.
It's the first thing I did.
I know. That's awesome.
I did when I first sat down.
I looked at the screen and I was like, hey. That's awesome. Let's see who's Michael Connors is there tonight. Grace Williams. Well, she sounds like a nice girl. Nathan Eichhorn, heading to my daughter's play tonight. Wanted to check in and wish you guys a good evening. Have a great show. Well, thank you, Nathan Eichhorn. We appreciate that. Go to Combat Flip Flops, enter the code ABOUTFACE. You're going to get 30% off your order. That's huge. And then we get 15% of that, which we're super excited about, which allows us to put new DJs on the air. If you haven't heard, Miss Texas is now a part of About Face Media. Her show, it's like PTSD and pageants or something like that. She's going to call it, or I forget the name of whichever she's going to call it, but she'll be starting in the next month or so. And then what's the other sponsor we love with the things?
The Thigh Huggers.
Yeah, Thigh Huggers. That's
Thigh
it.
Huggers.
Thigh Huggers.
In my opinion, the greatest sponsor ever.
I mean, no doubt. I love that your shorts last week. Those were awesome. I love that you just
they let my legs out.
They
for the world.
America, and I love the back end of it. I didn't see the back of them until you were walking up the stairs out of the bunker,
which you always walk up after.
Well, I had a lot to shut down last week. We had guests in studio and stuff, but yeah.
So yeah, Thigh Huggers. Go to Thigh Huggers. They make really good stuff. They're a good price. But if you want 30% off extra, type in coupon code ONESHOT, all caps, no space.
And then we get 15% of that as well. So thanks, folks. Bill Mott, hey guys. What do you call it? So we ask you guys all the time, and you always come through. Hey, we need Combat Carl. Who do you think needs to be on Combat Carl? And man, you guys came through in absolute spades over the past week. Although our military is not doing themselves any favors with not being on combat, called out for being on Combat Carl.
Well, it's only supposed to be military, but for the most part.
Agreed.
Military, government, America, infrastructure.
Agreed.
Okay.
Agreed.
So
you have one?
What do you have? We can have two.
Yeah, send you yours. So
no, you do
one
yours
of our,
first. You're prepared. You're ready to go. Mine is not quite.
So our listener Heidi Roswell lives in Maine. I don't know if you remember, a few months ago, an Army reservist went and did a mass shooting in Maine. Do you remember this? Probably 6 months ago, 8 months ago or so.
Yes.
And killed 17 people in a bar.
Yes.
So he was still, at the time of this shooting, an active Army reservist.
Okay.
Lots of people had gone to his chain of command and said, this person should not be allowed to possess firearms. Not only that, he was also institutionalized for 2 weeks. He spent 2 weeks in a mental health facility and had threatened, I'm going to shoot up a bunch of people. Well, our listener, Heidi Roswell, sent us some more of the details in the stories to go with that.
Excuse me.
Red flag laws. What are your thoughts?
I have to just blanket statement say I am absolutely against red flag laws because the current red flag laws are written terribly.
Agreed. Because an ex-wife can make a phone call and then suddenly the sheriff is knocking on your door.
You could live somewhere where you could shoot and your neighbor could call and say, or your neighbor could be annoyed by it. Call the sheriff and say, I don't think you should have guns, and they come and take them and yes, there's going to be a trial down the road.
But in the meantime,
it's none of your fucking business.
Exactly.
And so basically the way they're set up is anybody with just like revenge or frustrations with somebody or a disagreement can make up a fraudulent claim. So it's not that I don't think that some people shouldn't have guns, bro.
Agreed. And some veterans, some of our peers. Yeah, agree completely.
You ever met Joel Hunt? Not mentally stable.
It's funny. We were at the hiring event yesterday and somebody asked the question and they're like, have you talked to him since? And I'm like, dude, my biggest fear in life is
don't say this. Don't say this on there. Don't say it on there. Just leave it. Because he told me that too yesterday. He's like, I keep hearing this, that there's a scary thing that could happen. I was like, yeah, whatever. We weren't on the air yesterday.
Yes, they were just having casual conversations with future staff. But yes.
Either way.
In my opinion, it is our responsibility to police our own.
Yes.
And the details that Heidi Roswell sent us is that they were trying to police their own. We were trying to do what our obligation is.
Right.
And the sheriff's office in this Maine town was like, hey, dude hasn't broken the law. Nothing I can do about it. I disagree with what you're saying, but keep talking.
Well,
not you, the sheriff. Dude.
Right. I know.
You and I are usually on the page. Usually things.
I think that it's challenging. The problem is 90+% of gun problems, 90+%, right, is illegal.
Agree. And agree completely.
And I'm always all about the 90%, right? When it's 90+%, we got to take care of that first.
Well, and that's an NCO thing.
Okay, so
10% of your soldiers are going to take up 100% of your time.
Let's take care of the illegal bullshit, and then these legal ones are going to be very minimal, or there's going to be less of them, and they're going to have more time to I think take care of the littler stuff.
Each gun law
does that make sense?
Agree completely. Each gun law passed is simply making it harder for legal firearm owners.
Yeah, that's it.
They're not doing anything to take guns away from criminals.
I know, and they're spending all their time doing that. Instead of, let's worry about the 90%. When that 90% is a smaller mass, we can start focusing on guys like that.
Point of my story, folks, because it's our job to police our own. Keep doing it.
Yeah, I know. I saw situations like that, not in particular firearms, but situations where something catastrophic happened that we saw earlier things, and they're like, fuck that, and move on. And then I also saw them freak out about things that were irrelevant and unneeded. But
silly.
Welcome to the military.
Yeah, no argument. That's any bureaucracy here. Yeah. So I just keep squeezing the tip and rolling. I know. I'm in the wrong seat tonight. So
wrong.com. So, I don't know. Police your own, listen to everything. address everything appropriate, on the spot to the best of your ability, but that's all you can do.
Yeah, and it sounds like.
And by the way, reservists aren't far from being just civilians. So
Boy Scouts.
Well, I don't want to be disrespectful. I just said.
What you said wasn't disrespectful, but right now Brandon Bartlett is listening to us going, "Hey, motherfucker,
you dicks! We didn't make fun of you. You think we didn't like you? You make fun of everybody, not necessarily equally, but you got to make fun of everybody."
Agreed. Did you have a different combat Carl you wanted to bring up?
I did have I have a really good combat Carl. I didn't know about that one that you told me. Or you
Rob Lilly, guns are bad. Okay. Can you guys get the other camera working already? We are working on it, Eric Reed. I don't need this pressure. I have employed all of the tools you sent us.
You might not have sent this one to me. I think somebody else actually sent this to me.
That's what I'm saying.
I got it multiple times.
Yeah. Go ahead. What you got?
I'm taking this from the United States Attorney's Office.
Well, that can't be good.
Army civilian employee indicted in San Antonio for alleged $100 million fraud scheme.
Okay. An Army civilian defrauds.
So you didn't send this to me?
No.
This is great. This is not great. This is insanity.
Oh, let me guess. She was head of her VFW.
Did you say VFW?
Yeah.
Close.
Oh, don't do this to me. Go ahead. I'm having a good
It's even
night.
more twisted.
We've got Go Ruck coming on, and
So-
I'm in a good mood.
This one isn't. No, this isn't that long. A federal grand jury in San Antonio returned an indictment today, charging a San Antonio woman with 10 counts related to a fraud scheme she allegedly conducted while working as a civilian financial program manager at Fort Sam Houston. According to court documents, Janet Yamanaka Mello, 57, allegedly stole more than $100 million in Army funds by regularly submitting fraudulent paperwork that indicated in an entity she controlled, Child Health and Youth Lifelong Development, was entitled to receive funds from the Army. Mello claimed the organization provided services to military members and their families when in reality it did not provide any services. I'm going to cut to the sum up. So she created this entity that didn't raise money. They ran programs for 4-H, or they ran 4-H programs, kids, farming, agricultural, shooting,
all the good American stuff,
all this great stuff. Right. So they get funding from the military, from the Army in particular, to fund service members' children's 4-H programs. She doesn't give a penny to any of it, does nothing. She has like a lavish collection of like jewelry and clothing and like multiple like property, like real estate properties all over. She has a exotic car collection. She got popped. She took well over $100 million, bro.
I'm going to have a stroke live on air. My blood pressure is through the roof right this second.
So here's what's nuts.
Do you see this
And
comment?
here's what I was thinking about. Oh, wow. Wow. She had a house in Castle Rock. Oh, well, she had a lot of houses, a lot of places. She doesn't have any of them, I don't think, from the way it sounds.
I love our listeners.
So here's the concept I got out of it. And it kind of gets away from her, but it brings up something. I feel like throughout our career, I know I have, and I feel like you probably have too, had a lot of buddies that got out and did some sort of something later and fought to get a government contract for something that could help out.
Oh God, yes.
Lots of them.
Oh God, yes.
How hard was it for them?
Almost impossible.
Basically everything but impossible to get a government contract for things that they worked hard at, they knew about.
That would
one of my friends right now is I just met him, but he makes machine gun mounts. He's a civilian now, but he sells them directly to DoD. But he's like just getting into it, and he's like, so I hear from him here and there about like the struggles. Man, I got into this base. I got this that happened. Pumped, right? How did this lady get over $100 million? This is what blows my mind. Is why is it so difficult for me to get my education benefits?
Yes.
Why is it so
Excellent
difficult
example.
for people to have this great thing out there that like fight. And all of a sudden there's somebody that just trips and falls on being able to run a whole program for $100+ million, have all these cars and real estate properties and all this stuff, and not a single penny and not a single activity being done with any of the funding ever once. Nope.
Oh my God.
How did she do that? So
you're winning right now.
No, what I'm thinking of,
Carl.
I'm winning Combat Carl. This is the Grand Slam.
Why
is it that the biggest dirtbag soldier veteran, and there are dirtbags out there, the one that probably did the least, that has the story that's completely false, is so good at manipulating the system and getting so much out of it? The Stolen Valor guys.
They were remember the dirtbags in your platoon that just always, well, you might not because you were the boss man in your platoon. That always seemed to get over.
I was the turd too. Nobody started off as a leader.
I love that Dan just looked up around. He's like, it wasn't me. I'm not sure who they're referring to. Dude,
but either way, you see what I'm saying? It's like this corrupt company with this horrible human being, man, they don't just get in. They get in, she gets $100+ million. We got Stolen Valor.
You can't access the benefits you've earned. And
hold on. Chick is getting Stolen Valor dirtbag fucking gets like remodels done in his house, all these different crazy. Yeah, you get a free service dog. Shit, they trick out your motorcycle for you. They pay part of your mortgage, like all this stuff. And then the dude that didn't do anything wrong doesn't can't get a basic thing through. Anyway, just frustrating. It's strange to see it all the time.
Make sure this comment goes up on the screen.
Which one is this? I do.
Yeah. Too bad yours are real. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, Cadre Dan with Go Ruck. Cadre Dan, how the heck are you, man?
Doing awesome. Doing great. Listening to you guys. I'm in agreement with you guys so far.
Well, that's because everything we say is actually factually correct and morally correct. So yeah, why wouldn't you? I get it. We're really good at we're not just giant dicks and huge muscles. We're, we got some brains up there too. Welcome to the show, man.
It's good to be here, man. I made sure I set up my garage so I at least look like I somewhat work out in here.
Did you clean up for us? You didn't have to do that.
Yeah. Well, I just moved. I just moved down here from Fort Bragg down here to St. John's, Florida. So this is like actually I've been here for 2-3 months. This is like the first workout I was able to get into was yesterday in my own garage gym. So I'm pretty excited about it.
Fort Bragg. I'm not familiar with where that one is. Where is that one located?
Might be otherwise known otherwise known as Fort Liberty, but I always refer to it as Fort Bragg.
I will never call it Fort Liberty. Never. It will not happen. You're not getting those words to come out of my mouth. I don't know where that is, so fuck that.
I just got the phone 2 days ago with one of my old Army buddies, and I was like, where do you live now? And he's like, right next to Fort Libby. And I was like, what? He's like, Fort Libby. And he says it's so stupid. And I was like, it didn't click at all. He's like, I'm right next to Fort Libby. Okay.
It's a good, I like that.
Libby. Stupid.
Well, Dan, we've got a lot of people on who don't know who you are, don't know your story. Let's start at the beginning. So tell us your military story. I only got you for 20 minutes, so I want to get in as much as I can. Tell me your military story.
Yeah, so I came in the Army in 96. That's when I went to basic training and did like the split option program where you can go in between your junior and senior year of high school. I was in the reserves for a couple years. Decided I wanted to go active duty. Volunteered to go to Fort Bragg and be in the 82nd Airborne Division, and was a mechanic for the first couple years of my military career. Spent a lot of time underneath of a Humvee. Went to Afghanistan in 2002 for the first time as a mechanic, and that was pretty awesome. Being able to drive around southern Afghanistan, specifically Helmand Province, in a Humvee, and the only up armor we had was we threw sandbags on the bottoms of the floorboard of the Hummer. So that was pretty awesome. Yeah, I know. So I after spending 5 or 6 years in the 82nd, I had phenomenal, still one of the best senior NCOs take me aside and was like, hey, you're too 82nd Airborne brainwashed. You need to go see the rest of the Army. So he talked me into going to Korea and then going over to Germany. So I did a tour over in Korea in 2004, and then I went right over to Germany. Went over to Germany, and this is like circa 2005, 6. All you see in the news is Iraq and Afghanistan. I was like, I'm missing out, and I decided to go to selection and be a Green Beret. Went to selection, made it through. The second time I had to go twice because I sucked the first time so bad. So I had to go through twice. It was awesome. Went through, got my Green Beret, 18 Charlie. Went right to a team, 3rd Special Forces Group. Within 3 weeks, I was in my first gunfight. That was pretty awesome in Shock Valley. Being the new guy on a team, and then starting off as a sergeant first class on a team. I stayed on that team for 7.5 years straight, which is an anomaly to be on an ODA that long on a special forces team. And I ended up finishing out as a team sergeant on that team. Did a stint as a first sergeant, got promoted to sergeant major, ended up being the company sergeant major of the company I grew up in. And then my last meaningful assignment was as the Special Forces Assessment and Selection Sergeant Major. And now I'm currently utilizing the Skills Bridge program, doing an internship at Go Ruck. And then I'll be out here in a couple months. It's 28 years, just like that.
I didn't know until this conversation. Yeah, just like that. I didn't know until this conversation that Go Ruck had a Skill Bridge program, which is not why we brought you on the show, but that's definitely something worth talking about.
Yeah, so like the Skill Bridge program is really, it's a pain in the ass because all the paperwork, just like anything else in the military. Mm-hmm. But I planned on it. I heard about it. And I was like, shit, I'll give it a shot. And I went to the briefings. I talked to the lead counselor, and got everything legally signed and everything. And now I'm down here as an intern at Go Ruck. It's pretty awesome. I'm going to obviously transition into full-time at Go Ruck. So, yeah, it's working out pretty good. And it's a great program. So, honestly, my transition has been pretty awesome. And I think one of the key takeaways I listened to all my peers, and I listened to my buddies left and right who had gotten out before me. And I just made a plan, just like anything else. I didn't make a snap decision at the last minute, be like, all right, fuck this, I'm done. I'd planned this out for years. And then whenever it came time for me to say, all right, I'm done. That's enough. And my time is up, and I just went with my plan. And so far, everything's working out pretty good. There's some hiccups, but other than that, everything's going pretty good.
Good for you, man. Very glad to hear that. That is the rare exception. So I'm very glad to hear stories like that. How many spots are there for the Skill Bridge for Go Ruck? Because I'm sure our listeners right now are getting their Google on.
So Go Ruck's on an official program in Skill Bridge. Mm-hmm. But I mean, Go Ruck definitely has interns. You know what I mean? It's just a matter of connecting the dots. Okay. It's like, I would like to intern at Go Ruck and do XX things, and making sure that we actually need XX things down there at Go Ruck. We've had interns there before. I'm not the first body stretch the imagination.
Your Instagram is about to get lit up, dude, right now. Now that this is the word is getting out. So, but let's talk about Go Ruck. Some of our listeners may not know what Go Ruck is, because look, the day that I got handed a DD-214, I said, hey, you ain't ever getting me to put a rucksack on again. Thank God, I'm done. Fuck that. It's all over. And a few months later, I met my buddy Adam, and Adam's like, hey, do you know what Go Ruck is? And I'm like, no, that sounds stupid, dude. I'm not. What the hell are you talking about? And he's like, oh, we're doing this thing to honor the guys from Mogadishu. All right, I'm a sucker for anything memorial. Let's do this thing. And yeah, really. Oh, whatever, it doesn't matter. But yeah, so that's how I got nervous for a second.
I did too.
That's how I got turned on to Go Ruck, and what an incredible organization. I mean, just for the veteran community, what a story of success for another veteran. What's McCarthy? Is that his?
Yeah, Jason McCarthy, the CEO. Yeah,
great. What an excellent story.
Great story. Yeah. He's
tell the world about Go Ruck, man.
So Go Ruck does like, if I had to give you like the elevator pitch, there's two main things that Go Ruck does. So Go Ruck manufactures bomb-proof gear. So the general idea is like when we were going on missions and we would pack rucksacks full of stuff that we absolutely needed that was essential. So like as an example, like when I was on a team, we would always pack an extra backpack that had like demo, batteries, food, water, extra magazines. So the idea for Go Ruck came from a rucksack that you would put the stuff that you need in case shit fucking hits the fan. So the owner and founder, Jason, came up with this rucksack, and he went to go sell it. And this was like circa 2008, 2009, and nobody was buying the rucksack. So what he did was he came up with this event called the Go Ruck Challenge. And the Go Ruck Challenge was to prove how tough his gear that he was making was, that it was special forces tested and proven and all that. So you got the gear side. So now, since 2008, we like pretty much head to toe gear wise, everything from boots and shoes, sandbags training sandbags you could use, all kinds of different types of rucksacks built around steel plates that you can ruck in. We sell steel plates. Like we literally can outfit you head to toe with anything and everything you need. We like to train with sand. That's like our mantra. So that's where the sandbags and got sandbag kettlebells. I mean, like pretty much a home gym. I have a whole pallet right here just full of all kinds of sandbags and kettlebells. It's a pretty awesome program. So that's the gear side. And you come over to the event side, and that's where I'm primarily focused at. So we run team-based endurance events all over the world. And we've been doing that since like 2010. And that with the Go Ruck Challenge I was telling you about, that Jason came up with a test the bag. So we run the gamut on all different types of hours, all different types of physical abilities, and all kind of things that you're looking at possibly getting out of that. So an example, if you just want to go for a ruck, like a 12-mile ruck, and have it kind of be like a scavenger kind of thing, we have an event, our city rucks. We do that 12 miles, 26.2 miles, 50 miles, 5, 10, 15 Ks. We do them all over the country. If you're looking for leadership and teamwork, like in a shared misery environment, then that's our challenge series. And that's where we have anything from 2 to 3 hours long up to 48 hours. And then some. Every once in a while, we'll do like a longer 48-hour event. The other thing we do is tactical events. So all of our cadre that do our tactical events, great group of dudes. You could have zero firearms experience or be really good with a weapon system, but they will definitely get you zeroed in on any type of different weapon system when we have those events all over the place. So just a last example of our events is we're blessed and honored to be able to run events on the beaches in Normandy this year with the 80th anniversary. And those are great. We're doing like a 50-mile. We're doing like a 50. We have like 8 to 10 events. We're doing our biggest event right now. It has over 100 people signed up for it. Is our 50-miler, and that 50-miler. I mean, yeah, it sucks walking 50 miles with a rucksack. Don't get me wrong, but the route that we designed is like it's you're gonna pretty much damn near see everything when it comes to like Utah Beach or St. Mary Glees over to Omaha, Point du Hoc, the cemetery. I mean, like all kinds of awesome stuff that we have you guys on the route go check out and everything like that. So it's I would say it's the best ruck that you could possibly go on is the Normandy 50 miler, but we also have like 26.2 50 miler, 5, 10, 15K rucks for folks who want to go over there. And we have a couple of our challenge events that we're actually going to do on the beaches in Normandy. Cause I got to tell you guys, man, like I've been in Normandy 5 times, and every time I go there, I just get more cemented in the fact that that's one of the most American places on the planet is the Normandy beaches when you go up there.
A lot of treasure there.
Yeah, and especially when you go to the cemetery and everything. So it's a great atmosphere, great folks, great people come. You know, it's just so awe-inspiring to be there, and then being able to catch some of the veterans, some of the guys that actually storm the beaches, like all the cool things that you've done in the military, like
not even close.
Not even close, bro, to getting off a Higgins boat on the first wave of Omaha Beach and charging up like the Veerville exit. So, yeah, it's great, man.
So one of the things that caught my attention when I participated in that Moog Mile thing, get handed your stuff, get told show up at this time, blah, blah, blah. And I got handed a piece of sheet plastic, and it was CW3 Clifford, nicknamed Elvis from Mogadishu.
Yep.
And, hey, you're going to carry this with you, and, you're going to read his bio when we get to the end. So you suffer through all this bullshit, starts at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night. Now it's 10 o'clock in the morning, and I've been working all night, carrying a rock with me, or what do you guys call a coupon with me, all night. And I get to the end, and now I'm having to read the bio of Elvis. And by the way, I still keep that piece of sheet plastic. It's sitting in front of my cigar box on my top of my dresser. It means the world to me. And reading his bio and remembering who he was. To Go Ruck.
Repeat that again.
Just well done to Go Ruck for the memory and keeping those that have gone before us alive. So that's the important part.
No, it is, because like to be honest with you, man, like the first half of my military career, I absolutely hated civilians. I just I was like, a lot of friends going back and forth overseas, and you come home and it's just like, there is a war going on, you lazy fucks. And I started doing Go Ruck events, and it completely changed my perspective of the civilian population and of just being an American in general. And I got some real humble pie. And honestly, the absolute best part, and I stand by this all the time, running Go Ruck events, and I've ran 200-300 Go Ruck events all over the world. It's honestly, it's the people is the best part. Like the rucks are cool. Don't get me wrong, rucks are great. All the shit we make at Go Ruck is awesome. The cadre we got are top notch. But the people that come to these events they're phenomenal human beings. And I don't mean that just strictly from a physical sense too. I mean that also from a mental sense. And I mean that from these are people that get off the couch and they just want to do something cool and
moral and virtuous.
Yeah. And like at Go Ruck, we built this giant, awesome community of folks, and it's all around activity being the Northern Star. The most important thing is just getting out there and being active. And we're just at Go Ruck, we're just bolting on, doing activity outside together, which those three things right there absolutely improve your mental fitness, is of course, obviously, and your physical fitness. So it's a great program all around, not just for vets, not just for people in the military, not just for civilians, but just everybody coming together, hanging out, doing some PT together. And then at the end, we hand out patches at the completion of the event. And then I always have cold beers. So always, because that's the best. The ending of the event is always the best. So I want to make sure I got cold beers for everybody, because everybody did great. And it's meet some really outstanding, cool people that I stay in contact with all the time. So it's great. I love it. I couldn't have picked or found a better way to transition from being in the Army, in Special Forces, to go into the civilian life
Dan, interviews like this makes it disappointing for me that our interviews are only 20 minutes long, because obviously I could make this an hour-long show. We could talk for all night for that matter. But you have a family, you are a busy man, and you got a lot to do. So I'm going to pass you off to my hetero life mate here, who's going to give you the rest of the instructions.
Hey, thanks for being on, Dan. That was a lot of fun. Like Rob said, I'd totally like to have you on for an hour or two. But at the end of your time, we give you about 2 minutes to run through one, handles, contact info, how to sign up, how to support, and then also any subject matter that you wanted to talk about we might have glossed over or forgotten to bring up. So time is yours. We'll try not to interrupt you, but got about 2 minutes.
Yeah. So like last parting shot is that I am eternally grateful for the time that I got to spend in uniform. And I think if anybody's listening and is like, hey, you know, why should I, you know, sign up in the military? Man, it's all about, it really is all about your buddy to your left and your right. You meet some of the greatest people in uniform and you get to really do some of the coolest things. And I really lucked out with my time being a GWAT guy, where most of my career pretty much was in, you know, during Afghanistan. And I got to spend a lot of time over there doing all kinds of cool things that, unfortunately, I won't ever be able to do ever again, just like you guys, right? So if I had to do it all over again, I would do everything almost identical, except I would have tried to go to Ranger Regiment and spend a little bit of time there, because those are some great bros down there. But yeah, other than that, Go Ruck, man, simple. GoRuck.com, got a ton of events on there. Sandlot.fit is another place you can search for any events. And then if you want to hit me up, Cadre Dan on Facebook, Instagram, and I got a YouTube channel that I upload videos that's specifically pretty much all about Go Ruck. And then every once in a while I'll throw a yoga video up to throw everybody off. So
dude, we are yoga junkies around here. Yeah. So dude, love it. Ladies and gentlemen, we have been talking with Cadre Dan with Go Ruck. I've waited a long time to get Go Ruck on this show. So, man, I really appreciate you taking time out of your Monday night to be a part of what we do. So thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Cadre Dan with Go Ruck. Hey, man, I hope to see you out there at some point. And, yeah, put a couple miles in with you.
Awesome. Appreciate you guys. Thanks.
Take care, Dan. Have a good night.
Thank you. That's the problem, is like sometimes I love our 20-minute interview segments, but, man, I could talk to that dude all night. But yeah, our listeners got stuff to do. And combine that with, we always have to make room for everyone's favorite VSO.
Allie says yep.
Allie says yep. Ladies and gentlemen, you know her, you love her, you tolerate her. It's Allie.
Hi.
What up, gangster? You're looking relaxed.
Yeah, I just came back from St. Martin. I'm nice and tan and sunburnt. Like
St. Martin, that's a town in New York, right?
What's that?
I said St. Martin. That's a town in New York, isn't it?
No, it's an island in the Caribbean.
Oh, right. Well, yeah, how was that?
One island, two countries, the Dutch side and the French side. And I went with my fiance for his birthday and our boys, and it was great. Great time.
Saw a lot of pictures. Are you all sunburnt and whatnot?
Oh, totally. Like my legs are so itchy. We were sitting upstairs just scratching and and aloe vera doesn't touch it. But like it's gonna turn into a tan and I'm gonna look like I'm so itchy.
Hey, we're just happy to see that you're wearing pants this evening. I mean,
I am wearing pants
step up
today.
from what you're usually doing.
I know. Sometimes I don't wear pants at all.
Us either. Thank you, thigh huggers.
I know, of course.
Talk to us.
Yeah, I had a busy day just catching up because I was gone all week. Mm-hmm. But I got a little news article and I didn't read it because I was busy. But the headline was U.S. Air Force is asking retirees to return to service. And I'm like, ha!
I've been sent that Alarac no less than 37 times.
Yeah. So are you going?
Hey man, it's funny because I get even on the way to the show tonight, during show prep, I'm getting text messages from my buddy Rocky, and he's like, "What do you think, man?" And I'm like, "I'm in. Do this. Bring me back.
I'm good.
Absolutely, bring me back. Let's make good things happen." Hey, Sergeant Major, I need to have a word with you. We need to talk about what you're screwing up.
If it ever turns into a Red Dawn situation, I'm in.
Yeah, I mean, I think almost all of our community is feeling that way.
Yeah.
Let this happen.
Yeah. I mean, kind of. I feel like
I won't even say
it's
something bad. I'm going to hell.
What are your thoughts, Al?
Of what?
Would you go back? Are you going to punch back
Your
in?
caliber.
Yeah, exactly. Your caliber.
That's literally what I was saying. I found a way to say it.
You don't look like a 380 kind of girl.
Yeah, no, I absolutely and I toy with the idea a lot, and it doesn't help that I see returning veterans, right? And they're young and, they've just come home. And I don't even understand what they're saying anymore. Like, shit has changed so much from the time I ETS to now.
I wasn't volunteering to go with them shitheads. I meant all of us get together.
Yeah.
We have our own fucking chain of command and platoons and all the way down, top to bottom.
I was talking to Patrick Hennessy.
Yeah, no,
last
we're not.
night.
We're not going to active young 20-something dingleberries. No.
Shit. I mean,
yeah, they got the old guy battalion, and that's where we all go.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if my BDUs still fit or my ACUs fit anymore.
Well, I
can wear tights,
do.
Right? I can wear tights, right?
You got my permission, Dowd?
I'm in.
I was talking to Patrick Hennessy last night, and he's like, "Are we doing this, dude?" And I'm like, "Yeah, man. You're part. His dog's name is Dave." And I'm like, "You're now part of Dave's Fighting 69th. Congratulations, General."
Yeah.
Battlefield
promotion. AR-670-1 is out the window.
Oh yeah, I'm keeping this.
Yeah.
I'll somewhat keep it down out of my way, but
I'm not saving nothing.
We're not going high and tight with the skin fade.
No.
Yeah, no.
I'll fade, but it's not. I mean, I'll be functional. We're not going Duck Dynasty.
Give me an excuse to shave my head because I
fucking G.I. Jane over here.
Please give me an excuse to shave my head. Like,
Allie, I think they're taking advantage because I know you hear this 3 times a day from veterans all over the place. I just want to go back. I just want to go back in.
Daily.
And I say to people all the time, look, man, you raised your right hand. You did your time. You served. You did what you needed to do. You're done.
I feel like it's our generation. Nice, you stupid fuck.
Quit breaking stuff.
Yeah, it's my stupid cat. Our generation is looking.
She's gonna say the other C word. I was like, you stupid, and I was like, whoa.
As I was saying, I feel like us, like when we're looking at the younger generation, like our kids, right? Like, you guys are fucking it up. You're fucking it up.
Yeah.
That's not how the military works.
Yep. We're on the same page. Although, can you imagine how much fun TikTok would be if we got back in?
I mean, I wish kind of, but not really, because we got away with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm glad
we were pre-social media.
Yeah.
I'm very grateful of being pre-social media.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when I walked into the bunker tonight, I come down to, down the steps into the bunker and close the hatch behind me and whatnot. And homeboy here is like going through cardboard boxes full of stuff. And he's got dope books and whatnot. This dude is ready to go back. I'm looking at a K-bar sitting on the shelf behind us. He is ready to go right this second.
It's my dope book from sniper school. And he's like, well, why do you have it like that? And I'm like, because I can slide out and it stays like, weatherproof.
Yeah.
Ready to go.
And do you guys still have
whatever you're about to ask, the answer is yes.
Yeah.
Which drives my wife bananas because I have 2 big black tough boxes in our garage full of old Army crap that will never fit and never get used again. What are you
pull out a
digging
green book
for?
But
I got them by the stack load. Stacks of them.
Yep. I have
arms reach. Look.
Yeah, he's got all. These are all secured in the bunker.
Here's what's great.
You have like this, though? I don't know if you
all the combat folds.
Look at you
the combat folds.
We are predictable, aren't we?
I have my flight book for reconnaissance operations.
We are. If nothing, we are predictable.
Yeah.
Find out.
See now, we're talking about these times. What we're not talking about is, hey, draw weapons at 04, be standing tall at 03.
Yeah.
Well, I just said, like, they got to understand some things are going out the window.
Yeah.
Right.
Old.
Like, when you're old, you don't give a fuck about going to jail.
Yeah. Yep. Send me back.
Say AR-670 is not the only thing going out the window.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Geneva Convention out the window.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
What else?
It's only, what is it? Junior says it's not a war crime the first time.
I mean,
I was just going to say,
Michael Connors, you are now a part. You are now a sergeant major in the Dave's Fighting 69th. Congratulations. I'll re-enlist for that platoon, dozens of them.
Oh man.
But Allie, PACDAC stuff. Good Lord, getting ready to go live. You got to be getting blown up. Dude.
Oh my God, it's it's stupid.
When does it go live? Like June 3rd or something like that?
Like it's been live.
But it opens up to everybody. Like maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I thought it opened up sometime soon.
So kinda, not really. The PACT Act is now looking into MOS specific TERA, so toxic exposure risk activity. So even if you don't have time in Southwest Asia, right? But you were in an MOS that exposed you to toxins, like let's say you were on a ship and there's tons of asbestos, or you were a firefighter, you got the triple EF foam or the triple AF foam or triple AEF, whatever, the firefighting foam,
whatever
right?
they call it. Yeah.
You're a fueler, so exposed to lots of jets and JP8 and all that crap. You were the older guys exposed to radiation. You had to do nose and throat radium treatments. You were exposed to Carc paint, which nobody ever talks about. And I didn't know what the hell Carc paint was until I became a VSO. So Carc paint.
Shit's like body paint.
Yeah. So
that's
you know
you're saying cuck
right?
paint.
I'm not saying cock paint. I'm saying
no cuck paint.
I'm not saying cock or cock. Okay? It's CARC, Charlie Alpha Romeo Charlie, Carc paint.
Huh. No kidding.
Yeah. That's my other channel, you guys. Oh, I was
you
at
only
a ball.
did TikTok.
I was at a ball over the weekend on Saturday, and a lady approached me. She's like, "You look so familiar to me," and I said,
"Oh God,
I'm on OnlyFans." And she's like, she was one of my firefighters' wives, but I didn't know who the firefighter was because I live in a huge city. And I'm like, "Oh,
you shouldn't watch those kind of movies, ma'am."
And she goes, and she's like, "No, I don't think that's it." And I'm looking, I'm like, "Ma'am, I'm joking. I'm actually the director of Veteran Services." And she's like, "Yes, I've seen you on TV and you were in the newspaper." I'm like, "Yes, ma'am." And she was like, she didn't know how to take it. She's like, "Oh shit!" Like and my dress was like.
I mean, good people don't think so.
Like I was in like scantily clad dress. So when I said I'm on OnlyFans.
So she's searching OnlyFans for you now.
Yeah, exactly.
She is, yeah.
You are too?
Hey.
Oh my God, what's your handle? I'm like, oh shit.
Wait, so Allie, I mean, I don't know anyone in the military that was not exposed to Carc paint. So
yes. There are different levels of exposure. Like if you were the ones actually painting them, or if you were like sanding, that shit gets in your nose, down your throat, in your lungs, and it's actually very poisonous, very cancerous. And I feel like I've only done one Carc claim, and it was a fight. And we had to pull tons of peer-reviewed journals and scientific papers to show the makeup of what Carc paint is and how it's applied to our vehicles and shit. And when you're painting it and you're not in a well-ventilated area, right? Because if you're on a ship, you're on, you're in a bay and you're doing these on the Humvees, you're breathing that shit in. The particles stay. It's not like, I don't know. It's just, it's awful. But it took us about 2.5 years to get this claim finally, just as likely as not. So the VA didn't even say more likely than not, just as likely. Meaning, yeah, it could have no, it couldn't have 50-50. All right, we'll give it to you. But
wow.
yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of incredible.
It's
I know all the fuels and stuff like that. So the reason I'm bringing this up in conversation, I smoked cigars with this kid named Austin, and he was like, I think an Intel guy or something like that. I forget what he was, but he got out of the military, has no disability rating. And I'm like, dude, you did 4 years, you did your time, you have these problems, you need to get them taken care of now. You're 28 years old. Don't wait until you're 44 years old. And yeah, having this conversation, he's like, well, but I didn't deploy at all. I'm like, dude, you're still a veteran. It doesn't matter.
A deployment is not what makes you a veteran. It is your active duty service. Okay. So
raise your right hand.
Yes. Ugh. You guys are making my eyebrows itch.
I don't know how to respond to that exactly.
This is me getting like my eyebrows.
This will come up in conversation later.
You know how people say the face palm?
Yeah.
Now it's the eyebrow itch.
Yeah.
No, I think you did it wrong. It was like
I'm sorry, were you saying something, Allie?
Traumatic things happen stateside. Traumatic things happen in garrison. Accidents happen. People die in garrison. So not having a deployment is not what indicates what is a veteran and what is not. And I made a video about this on my TikTok, and some of the comments, like,
oh my goodness,
I'm pretty liberal when it comes to like freedom of speech, but some of these were I'm just like, you're fucking stupid. Delete. Like some woman said, my dad did 2 years or 4 years or something in the reserves. I'm a female. I did 20 years of active duty, and my father says I'm not a veteran because I'm female. And I'm like, respectfully, your father's a fucking piece of shit. That's what your father is.
Ooh,
okay.
Wow.
4 years in the reserve versus 20 years active duty, and she's not a veteran because she's fucking has a vagina. Like, fuck out of here, dude. Like, this is the shit that pisses me off. And like, and I want to be able
we got
to
that.
But I can't.
We got that somewhere around the fuck out of
here. Yeah. So traumatic shit happens. Injuries happen while you are on garrison. You don't need a fucking deployment to get post-traumatic stress, because I'm telling you, when you come home from PT and you open your barracks door and your fucking roommate is swinging from the rafters, that's fucking traumatic. Okay.
Agree.
Okay. Traumatic. You are in the field and somebody has a negligent discharge and now your battle buddy's fucking dead. That's traumatic. Okay. So post-traumatic stress does not just happen while you are on a deployment. Okay. However, we all know that there are people that take advantage of the system, and not just veterans, but like take the American welfare system. There are people that take advantage of that, right? So no matter what, believe it or not, guys, so it doesn't matter. Like that, it's just don't be a shitbag. Basically, don't fucking be a shitbag. If you have something legitimately wrong with you, file for compensation. Think of it as workman's comp. Okay. I mean, I don't know how else to fucking say it. And I say this almost every time I come on the show.
What do you got for the safety brief this week, boss?
Go
ahead.
True story. Please. Oh, God. Please. If you have a weapon in your home, please make sure your children cannot access that weapon. We just lost a child this week.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
It sucks.
So, and I know veterans are like, well, if I put it in the safe and someone breaks in, 3 to the left, 5 to the right. I get it. Be smart. Teach children gun safety, because now we have a grieving parents who are being charged.
That's
being charged. So,
and they lost a child. So,
what
do you got there? One shot for the safety brief for this week.
Partially, Allie helped me out with this one.
Here it comes. You're going to steal mine. Go ahead,
folks. Even back here stateside, there's traumatic things that happen. You might come home. Your wife might be on a dude. Don't hang yourself over it.
Okay, I did not. That was not where I was going to go with that. I was going to
traumatic things happen.
They do. Traumatic things do happen.
You can have PTSD from things stateside. So seek help. Check on your friends, no matter if they're here or over there.
Vet center.
So now the medic in me comes out. Ladies and gentlemen, especially if you're here in Colorado, sunblock is extremely important.
Oh.
Do not get sunburned. You're causing cancer later in life.
You can get an Article 15 for getting sunburned, right?
Yes,
yes,
I
you
almost
can.
did in basic.
So right now we could charge Allie with an Article 15.
Two and two, baby.
45 and 45.
I'd rather just take a spanking.
Well, we'll leave that up to Mrs. Alley or Mr. Alley. So yeah, that's not happening on
After
here.
she argued about cuck juice and cock juice with me.
Hard.
Wow.
Hard.
This show's really gone to the.
Do you want to stay for Never Forgotten or do you want to kick rocks?
I'll stay.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, so if you don't know, today is Medal of Honor Day. So your nation. What, Al?
I said I forgot to mention. You're right. Yes, it is.
Your nation still has lots of living Medal of Honor recipients. So send them a little message or something like that. I particularly like Chicks Dig Scars. You're going to have to look that one up on Instagram, and you'll really like his Instagram. So good people. If you've ever seen the movie Black Hawk Down, then you know the story of Army Master Sergeant Gary Gordon. Gordon and his comrade, Army Sergeant First Class Randall Shugart, made the difficult decision service members could ever make to give their lives to their brothers in arms. This Medal of Honor Monday, we honored Gordon's life and sacrifice during 1993 humanitarian crisis in Somalia. Gary Gordon was born August 30th, 1960, grew up in Lincoln, Maine. At age 18, he joined the Army. In 93, the Civil War was raging in Somalia. It was destroyed agriculture-wise, but Special Forces soldiers. This led to the first Battle of Mogadishu on October 3rd, 1993. Supposed to be a quick raid of Somalia, capture high-value targets. Gordon was a sniper team leader and the lead helicopter of several that were providing air support during the raid. As the chopper got hit with intense gunfire, rocket-propelled grenades, Gordon's team learned that 2 other Black Hawk helicopters had been shot down. He and Shugart, another Delta Force soldier, volunteered to protect the downed chopper survivors. They were both well aware that a horde of militants was closing in on the crash site. If they did not help, the survivors would not stand a chance. But they also recognized that they would not either. Twice they asked for permission to go in, and twice they were denied. It was too dangerous. On the third request, leaders gave them the go-ahead. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight, when you hit your knees and you put your hands together and you're sitting down to dinner, hands are together, remember the families of Master Sergeant Gary Gordon and Master Sergeant Shugart on our Memorial Day, on this Medal of Honor Monday. So, Allie, thank you so much for being a part of the show. Really appreciate having you here. Ladies and gentlemen, you have been listening to From the Ashes on About Face Media. I really appreciate you taking time out of your Monday night to be a part of what we do. So thank you so much. Drive fast, text and drive. What are you pointing at, boss?
Cock.
What is it? Cock? Do you have black?
Cock.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, have a great rest of your Monday night. Allie's always good to see you. Good night. Bye.
Bye.